So I think you did some kind of modifications here. So let's see what was the question, right? So right, describe the distribution of age using histogram, right? Okay. We have to again we have to describe the distribution, right? So I already draw you the types of distribution, right? Symmetric one, negatively skewed one, and positively skewed one, right? So we have to identify whether the distribution of age is symmetric, negatively skewed, or positively skewed by observing the histogram, right? Okay. All right. So now you have the histogram here, right? Can anyone give me answer whether it's a symmetric one, negatively skewed one, or a positively skewed one? Yeah, good, right? We have given the correct answer, right? So let's try to change the bin size. So this is the bin, right? So one bin is starting from 80 to 24. The next bin is 24 to 30. Let's see. Let's try to change the bin size and uh, let's examine, do we have the same answer? So it is a positively skewed distribution, right? So yeah, all of you have answered correctly. All right, thank you. So let's try to change the bin size, right? So we just have to right click on the in the graph, right? Then we have to click the edit bars here, right? So in that case, you will see a menu called binning, right? So in that case, we have interval definition. We have to select the number of intervals here. So it automatically give 17. So we are going to double that interval. So what is the multiply 17 by 2? 20 and this 34. Let's try that one. Sorry. Uh, uh, input the new number of intervals. You just have to click OK. Right. So let me see. I think you can see my screen, right? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is the previous one, right? This is the new one after we change in the bin size, right? We have multiplied the bins. So sorry, we have multiplied the number of intervals from 2, right? So again, there is no any significant difference, right? We can identify it as a positively skewed distribution using the this 34 bin size also, right? Now again, let's see. Let's try to decrease the bin size. So this one is 17. Let's say we input 10 and see what will happen. Now you see, this is the previous one and this is the new one with the 10 bins, right? The bin size is 10. Did you see that? So once we observe this one, it is somewhat easier to identify the distribution, right? But here, somewhat tedious, right? Since we are uh, decreasing the number of bins, we can't identify the distribution. Yeah, of course, some can argue this also. We can clearly say this is a positively skewed distribution, but someone can say this is somewhat symmetric. So approximately this is a symmetric distribution once we explore once we observe this graph, right, this histogram. But once we observe this one, the previous one, it will clearly say it's a positive one, right? That is the importance of the bin size, right? So once you plotting those histograms, please always try to go with several bin sizes and try to identify the best bin size. So first of all, we have bin size for 17. Next, we multiplied it by 2, it's for 34. We didn't see much difference here. But after that, we decreased the bin size for 10. And now we can see a clear difference. This one is the best. This one is not the best, right? Because it gives somewhat, one can argue that it has somewhat a symmetric distribution, right? But when we see this one, it clearly say a positive skewed distribution, right? So we are not going to OK that one, because if we click OK, our previous one will vanish, right? Therefore, I'm going to cancel it. So that is how we are going to select the best bin size for the distribution, right? Okay, let's go quickly to the next part. Identify the correct bin size. So I identified that the by default one is better, right? 17. Describe the shape of the distribution. So we describe it as positively skewed, right? So I think you notice that in the when we use the stem and leaf plot also, we had the positive one, right? In here also, when we are using the histogram, we had the same answer, right? Okay, I think you got that point also, right? So the part 10, part information about the data values you see in a stem and leaf plot, and that you are not able to see in a histogram. So they are asking to do a comparison, right? So do a comparison between stem and leaf plot and the histogram, right? Okay, let's see what we can do. Right, again I'm in this one. So here is the stem and leaf plot. So in the navigator pane, I told you last week, so it is very easier to go from the outputs one by one, right? These are the outputs we did for the for throughout the lecture today, right? And if you want to compare this one, we just have to right click on the histogram, open in the split view, right? Did you see that? So now we can do a comparison, right? So of course, it is let's say we now I think we can see clearly the both histogram and the stem and leaf plot. What is the main difference here? Main difference is, of course, in stem and leaf plot, you can observe each and every observation, right? So guys, can you confirm whether I am recording the session? I'm recording, right? I'm recording. So can you all hear me properly? And see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is the stem and leaf plot. This is the histogram, right? So the main difference is in histogram we can't see observations, right? And in the stem and leaf plot we can see each and every observation, right? So in this type of situation you may feel that okay, stem and leaf plot is good, we cannot see the observations, but when you come to third year and fourth year, sometimes you may deal with the data sets which have sometimes 2 million, 3 million data, right? So in that case, stem and leaf plot is nothing, right? So histogram is the best one. So, but now since you are in the very primitive, the basic level, that the only thing is you will see that stem and leaf plot is good because we can see each and every observations in the dates, right? That is the main difference, right? So apart from that, there are several other usage specific to histogram and also specific to stem and leaf plot, right? So madam will explain those things once she is doing the lecture, right? Okay. Am I clear to you all, right? So the The main difference is in histogram we can see each and every observation here, but in histogram we can't see any observation, right? But for identify the shape of the distribution, I think both of are both of are doing some kind of significant job, right? Because by using both type of plots, we can identify the shape of the distribution, right? Okay. Let's go to the next part, right? So we have completed the part 10 here. So now part 11, right? How does this change the information conveyed by your histogram? Which graph do you feel provides a better overall depiction and summary for the distribution, right? This is a homework. So you have to go to the Google or whatever you want, any reference book. Please find answers for you, find answers for this question, right? Actually, I already told you that. So you just, in that case, you have to explain the difference and also compare them. What is the better? What is better when we have huge data sets? What is better when we have small data sets? Likewise, right? We just want to do a small comparison. That is for the part 11, right? Okay, now we come to box plots, the new one, right? Can someone confirm that the madam have completed the box plot, the theory regarding box plots or not? Or no? Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Let's see whether I can. Let's see what I can do here, right? Okay. So the part 11, to construct a box plot of the distribution of the oh yeah, construct a box plot of the distribution of LWT by race, right? Let's see what I can. LWT by race. So again, what is LWT? LWT is a continuous variable. So box plot are for the continuous variable, right? That is the first thing you want to know, right? You want to know if a variable is a continuous variable, we can use box plot. If a variable is continuous, sorry, if a variable is categorical one, we can't use box plot, right? That is the first thing you want to understand. So first, so we have to construct a box plot of the distribution of the LWT. Let's see how we can do it, right? Again, I'm going to the Minitab screen. Hope everyone can see the screen here, right? Okay, this is now I'm going to, and again I'm going to have my command and line and history window, right? Okay, now this is the familiar interface for you. This is the LWT, right? This is the LWT variable, the continuous variable. Let's see how to plot a box plot. You have to click graph, box plot, simple one, right? Again, these are the homeworks, right? Go through these things and check whether what we can do, right? We can do very interesting things using this one. So in the near future, when we are doing, when we are dealing with any other data sets, of course, we may have to use these options also. But before that, yeah, these are very simple things, right? They are not rocket science. You can go through those things, and you can click actually every options blindly and check whether what is happening. That's the best way to study, right? Okay. For now, I'm going to click on the simple and click OK. Now we have to select the variable. So here we are going to use LWT. Again, we can give a single click and select, or else we can double click. Yeah. Again here. So the same thing. I think you will see a pattern, right? Every dialog box have the same type of options. So either we can use these options, or else after clicking OK, we can go to the edit graph window, right? Okay. Then we have the box plot here, right? So madam will, of course, madam will cover the theory regarding box plot here, right? But for now, please understand that box plot give us the summary about 5 numbers, right? We have 5 number summary. Right? Do you know the 5 number summary? Okay, so 5 number summary is yeah, it's nothing, right? It is the 5 number summary is I can't actually say type it. Okay, so the first one is the minimum. That is the first one. Then Q1, you know the quartiles, right? Chaturthaka in A levels we studied about Chaturthaka Q1, Q2, Q3, right? The first quartile, the second one. Then the Q2, second quartile. We have another name for that. Is what is called Name? Is the other name for the Q2? Yeah, medium. Thank you. Then the third quartile, Q3, and finally the maximum. This is called 5 number summary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have 5 numbers. It is called 5 number summary. So box plot basically giving us the 5 number summary. Let's see, is that true? I'm again going to this box plot, right? So can you see 5 number summaries here? So you can see Q1 median, that means the Q2, Q3, the third quartile, and of course you can't see the minimum and the maximum here directly, but once you click on that one, you can add those values to the graph also, right? Try to do that one. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so up to now, please do. I will give you 1 minute to get the box plot, right? Please take the box plot. First, you have the LWT variable, then graph, box plot, simple. Okay, and give the LWT here and click OK. You will have the box plot like this, right? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Please do that. And after that, you click OK, right? So since I have already taken the plot, I will cancel, but you have to click the OK, right? Please get that one and try to do the modifications. Before doing the modifications, you have to click double click on that graph, right? Then you will see the edit graph window and do the modifications. I'm also trying. You can also try it, right? Let's see what I can do.